there, welcome to Lessons Learned. I'm Sherry. This is Monday Quilt Chat. This is where I just chat about anything going on in my head related to the sewing, quilting, crafting world. So come on in with your favorite beverage and we'll just have a little informal talk here. I usually just look at what I'm working on, what I'm thinking about buying, what I've already bought, what I've made, all of those types of things. And those of you who have been with me for a while, you know what this is like. But I hope anybody new here will hit the subscribe button after watching this video and definitely give it a like and a comment. I love all of that stuff, good or bad. I don't care. I don't get very many bad comments. I can't even hardly name one. I could name one. And that was a long time ago. So, I don't know. Everything's pretty positive over here. So, if you want to sit down and chat with me here, then be my guest. Be my guest. Well, this weekend, if you're on the Facebook group, if you're not, go into the description box of any video and click on the Facebook group link, and you can get on there. I finished my Simply Jelly Roll. No, that's not Simply Jelly Roll. It is a Simply Jelly Roll book pattern, but it's the baguette pattern that I started last Saturday. Actually, I started a little bit early on Friday for the National Jelly Roll Day, and I finished that on Saturday night. I finished it. It's cute. I'm glad it's done. If you want to see a picture of it, go to the Facebook group. Otherwise, you'll have to wait till Friday for Finish It Friday. I will show it that day, too. So, Facebook group, whatever. There's a post out there with a photo of it, so you can see it all finished. I'm not going to add anything else to it. I don't have enough of the background fabric to add any around the edges. There's not even enough for binding. Although I might cut what scraps I have left of the background to make a binding and make a narrow binding, because I need 7 strips of 2.5 inch, and I don't quite have that. I have 6, so I might get it to work somehow if I get creative. That's for the binding. I'm not going to put a border on it. I don't have anything left of any of that fabric other than 1 2.5 inch strip of the jelly roll, and like I said, a little bit of the background. So this is it. I did the jelly roll day. It took me a week, but I got it done. So that's gone out of my queue of things to work on. So I am going to also let you know that I'm working on our Jolly Bar book sampler thing that I'm doing. Nothing to do with any other store or group or anything. This is my sew along that I'm doing here in a couple of weeks. So I am working on engineering that. You need all 4 Jolly Bar books from Fat Quarter Shop. If you don't have them all, ask a friend, see if they have one you can borrow, or just go ahead and invest in those little books. They're not very expensive. So I think if you get the whole set of 4 at the same time, you get a little discount. It's like close to $40, but not quite. 38 something or something like that. So, and you might be able to find them cheaper other places too. I don't know. Just go out there and look around if you need them, or if you need one. I'm pretty sure I'm going to be pulling out of all 4. So far, I've got 3 rows out of 2 books. But then that's the volume 1 and the volume 2. And then the volume 3 and 4, I'll be getting at least 2 or 3 out of that. And then I'm going to be pulling from some of the patterns that have, they have like a a separating piece between the rows. I've not quite figured out exactly how I'm going to do that, if it's going to be between all the rows or some of the rows. And that will, depending on the actual design of one of those in one of these books that I'll use, I'll probably have 3 of those in it somewhere. So if I have 3 of those, then I will have 5 rows at least. I don't know. So I've got 3 already. I need 2 more. 1, 2, yes, and then that would give me my 1, 2, 3. That would actually give me 4 separating pieces. So I don't know. I haven't got that far yet. I'm working on it. And I know none of you are in a hurry anyway. We just got through with the sew along. I'm just kind of getting a little ahead of here, trying to figure out the math so that I will have it ready when I say go. So you've got a couple weeks. I have planned in my head to work on the Happy Days project this week. And that's this week as in today through next Monday until I have it done. It would be really nice if I had it done on Friday, wouldn't it? But I'm going to commit myself to full time on that project until it's finished. And I'm not going to give myself more than an entire 7 days to finish it. So whatever time that takes to get that done, that's what I'm going to do. Don't talk to me about quilting it yet, because I have no clue how I want to quilt that, how it's going to go down, because there's a ton of applique on there, and I'm a newbie at applique. I mean, I've done applique in the past, but not on a scale like this. That quilt has a lot of applique in it, and I use some adhesive papers in it and things like that, glues and whatnot, and I'm scared to death to put that on my long arm, but I will, but I don't know how soon it's going to be. My commitment to myself is to get the top done this week. I already have a backing for that came with the kit, so I have that already. As far as I know, I have 4 corner, full size, like 12.5-inch blocks for each corner to go in between those 4 wide borders that I've already constructed. I think it's possible I have one side of border to put together. I have the triangles. They're like triangles, up and down, up and down. I have all the applique that goes on those finished. They're finished. They just need to be sewn together into a long border. I know I have 3 of those. I may still have 1 that I need to put together, but that would be the least of my work on that. But it's mainly those 4 applique blocks that need to be done, and then put the borders on. So maybe I should just start on the applique and get those 4 blocks done, and then zippity-doo through the rest of it. That might be what I should do. That's getting me in the mood to get it down and look and start on it. That's good, isn't it? That's what I'm going to do today after this. Okay, so I talked to you about the Jolly Bar, making the pattern. I worked on that. My fabric stash, fabric rolling, fabric bin reconfiguration, all of that. Here's what I've been talking about for my fat quarters. Now these are fat quarters and half yards. The half yards are just kind of mixed in because I don't have that many, and they fold down the same way. I do have 4... Are these half yards? I do have 4 half yards that are folded in a weird way. I don't know if I want to. I probably will take those apart and make them to where they they fit well. So these are some blenders that I had down below there. I showed you once where a few odd solids and blenders basics are. So these are the bins. These are the bins that I'm going to use. And here, besides, I have 2 of these bins. They were in my refrigerator at one time. So I had those just in my pantry sitting, not being used. So I brought those. I have, the other one is not quite as full as this. And then I have this cube. These are fat quarters in a few random half yards. So these are stacked. So I have 4 runs of these. So I'm going to get 4 more bins. And then that's going to be all the fat quarters I can have. I have to use, that will give me 6 of these. And those will slide into one of these shelves over here that I'm emptying. And that's all I have. That's all I can have of fat quarters. So that means that I got all of these emptied out and gone through. That's all my fat quarters. So I do have a stack over there about like this of smaller than fat quarter scraps. And I did put more in the donate boxes as I finished those last 2-3 bins that I did. So it's coming. It's coming along. It's coming along. I am finding also, now that I'm getting into my bigger pieces of fabric, like 3 yards or more, they don't roll real well on the magazine boards. They don't stand up in my cubes like the 1 yards do. They're tight. They're tight even height. I don't know how that happens. But I may have to lay those a different way. I still kind of want to, fold them or roll them or something in such a way. Maybe I will have to lay them down instead of standing them up. I'm still exploring that. But I have quite a bit of that left to do. So it's an ongoing process, and I feel a little bit overwhelmed by it, a little bit, but not really. It's like something fun to do. I would like it to be done, but I feel like I'm very far from it being done, even though I've made a lot of progress. I have 4 bins in my cube, my 12 cubes hanging on the wall. I have 6. Let's just say 6. So I've got 6 of those full. So I've been doing something. It's been getting done. It's just taken forever. And you throw a jelly roll project in there, and then that kind of slows you down. Anyway, the life of a quilter. This is just what we do. It's never done. It's just like the dishes and the laundry. It's never done. When you feel good about having all that stuff done, the very same day it starts over again. I don't know. What else did I do last week? Oh, I wanted to remind all of you to send in your Scrappy Celebration photos. And if you have one out on Facebook that you can't seem to get to me in an email, would you remind me somewhere about that? Either in a comment on this video or under your picture on Facebook and those comments, or send me an email and just say, hey, I can't get this photo on this email. But that would be preferred. So even if you have put yours on Facebook, on the Facebook group, but you haven't sent it to me in the email, send it to me in the email anyway. Or let me know some way or another that I need to go get it off the Facebook page. That's a lot of trouble, but I'll do it. I want to get as many Scrappy Celebration photos in on this coming Wednesday's video as possible. So let me know if you haven't sent yours in yet. Send it in, get it done. This will be the last hurrah for that. And if I'm far enough along on my Jolly Bar sampler pattern that I'm making, to give you more concrete information, I will in a PDF. But remember, I'm going to be working on the happy days because I have committed myself to getting that done this week. So, that's that. Recent acquisitions. I got the Sew Sampler box. I mentioned that. Today is the 30th, so I'm going to go ahead and talk about it. There's a little bit of controversy about the whole 30th of the month thing. Some say, well, that's just related to, not doing the spoilers, but rather waiting till the 30th. Some are saying that's just the Facebook group, the Sew Sampler Box Facebook group, that you don't show the contents before the 30th. I was under the impression that that was a fat quarter shop rule that applies across the board. I don't know. So spoilers are spoilers. You just say it's a spoiler and it's okay. I guess that could be possible. I need to write Fat Quarter Shop and ask that question, don't I? And I'm sure you all will have a lot of opinions on that too. So go ahead, put your opinions in there. I don't know if it's a real rule all across the board of all social media or just that particular Facebook group. I don't know. I'm just trying to follow the rules. I don't like spoilers. That might be why I'm griping about it. But I don't think there should be spoilers of subscription boxes unless the vendor of it, gave it to that YouTuber or that social media person and said, hey, go ahead and show this to sell more of them. It's possible. I don't know. I thought I knew what I was talking about, but maybe I'm totally washed up. I don't know. So here's what's in it. We got this Jolly Bar, and it is Denim and Daisies by Fig Tree and Company. That's Joanna Figueroa there. Denim and Daisies, if you go look at it, it's a lot of oranges and blues. I'm not going to open this. Makes a cute little pack of... Isn't that cute? That's just cute. You will need way more than this for the pattern that they gave you. If you look at this, see all that blue and white background? There's probably more fabric involved with that than there is in this. This is used for the little turkey tracks or basket. They were calling it a basket thing. It's called reflections because half the basket's in the white and half of it's in the blue, so kind of reminds you of a reflection. I figured that out all by myself. So yeah, just keep that in mind. It's a nice little pattern. But yeah, just remember, it actually says on here you need 1 5/8 of the blue and 1 5/8 of the white. And that's not including the border that's on there. You'll need a 7/8 for that and 5/8 yard for binding. So you'll need 3 1/8 yard of background of 2 different colors there. I don't know if I'll make it or not. I might. I'm going to put that over here in my pile of to-dos from the Sew Sampler box. Like I said, one day I think I'm probably going to be selling some of those back. You can go on that Sew Sampler swap Facebook group and sell those back. There's people looking for them. There was a little roll of RFL thread in there. It's just a little creamy color, 50 weight. Yeah, 50 weight. The smallest spool. Not much on this. The Peaceful Baskets. We got Peaceful Baskets, which is this one. This is number 6, so when I make this up, I'll have half that quilt, at least the blocks, done. We got a Creative Grids ruler, which, you know, I'm die-hard Quilter Select, and Quilter Select doesn't have all these nifty little sizes. This is a 5.5 by 5.5, which is needed for that project, I think. That Jolly Bar project I just showed you. Creative Grids, it's a good brand. I don't know, I was looking at it with my little cutting mat here to see how the lines did with it, and it looks to me like it's got black lines and white lines on it, so I already don't like that. They should all be white if you ask me. I don't know, I just do better with a light colored line. I think that's why the Quilter Select is better for me. This is an $18 ruler. That's the regular price. So that's a good one. And then they also put in a hot ruler from Clover, which has a little bit of a curve on it, and that's probably used in one of the patterns in that as well. Maybe. I don't know. That didn't look like it has. That didn't look like it had curves in it. I don't know. It might just be a random ruler. I thought I had these. I do have some hot rulers, but they're called Kearing, Kearing. And they are an acrylic, some sort of heat resistant acrylic. I have this one, which is 9.5 or 9. It's 9. Or is it 10? It's 10. This one's 10. It's a regular old square heat ruler. But I also have this one, which I haven't opened yet. And it has a curve. So I already have a curved heat ruler. And these are more solid and indestructible. I don't know how this material is for the Clover one, but it's kind of like thick interfacing. You know, like that really thick interfacing you can get for craft projects or drapery or whatever. It's kind of more like that. It has a little fuzziness to it. I can see myself destroying that. I don't know the price difference because I have no idea where I got these. So there was that in there, and I think that was about $10. $9.98. The thread was $6. The pattern was $10. The Jolly Bar was $22.98. Now, a Jolly Bar is 5 inches by 10 inches, so it's like half a layer cake. So $22.98, half a layer cake. Yeah, and these Peaceful baskets, you can get these on Fat Quarter Shop for $5 a piece if you don't have the Sew Sampler box. So that's that. I recently acquired that. I recently acquired a Benartex layer cake, and this is called Starlight Safari. Here is the prints. Be a fun little quilt for a kid. And then a 1 yard piece of the line to go with it. And then I also got a 108, but I put it in the house. I think I brought it up here, and then I promptly took it right back because it would wind up in my stash of my 108s is down there, which makes sense, right? That's where the long arm is. But it was kind of a multicolored plaid looking thing. Kind of looked like kind of pixelated, but in an irregular sort of way. I mean, imagine when like your satellite or your TV is going out and you have all those different blocks of colors that show up. It's kind of looks like that. I'll use that for something that'll go with just about anything brightly colored. Well, like something out of that layer cake right there would be good. What else? Oh, I told you on Friday that I was thinking about the end of the year and how fast it's approaching, and where I am in projects and where I want to get to by the end of the year. What I had set out for myself the beginning of the year. Now remember, there's much more important things in life than quilting. I think it's important to have a hobby. I think it's very good for, you're just to be a well-rounded person, just kind of have your hands in something creative. We want to give attention to our important goals that we have. First and foremost, maybe you have a financial goal, a spiritual goal, a vacation goal, so that's kind of financial, isn't it? Personal, like health goals, things like that. And then you have, like your quilting goals, if you do quilting, which most of you do. So I think it's good to take stock kind of towards the end of the year to see, what have you gotten done that you set out as a goal in the beginning of the year? How much time do you have left to, reach some of those if you haven't already? I know in my case, 2 big ones that I had was the long arm, which I have put quite a bit of time into that, would like to put more, and I will be talking about that in future videos. And also the EQ8 pattern design software, which I was supposed to start on that in June, and it just wasn't happening at the time. So I thought I'm going to push it till September, but I didn't tell you that. I kind of put that as a personal mini goal to get started on it on September. Haven't done that yet. So that's one big one that I have not. I have honestly, earlier in the year, yes, I did a little bit with it. But since then, I purchased the books, I purchased the classes, the online classes that I still need to take, and haven't touched those yet. So that's going to be a big one for the beginning of next year. I think I'm just going to have to put the January 1st date on it, like you do for your diet. It's like, that's the day, and it's written in stone somewhere. So that's a big one. But as far as projects go, and as far as fabric buying goes, those are ongoing, and I feel like there's only one quilt project goal that I haven't touched yet, that I had on my goal list, that's still sitting, and it's called French Roses. No, it's not French Roses. That's a different pattern. It's the one in the kit. It's a kit that I got, and I got it at the end of last year. And that was one that I was supposed to start like in the first 3 months, and I didn't. Or maybe I remember saying I was going to start it in the winter time because it was a very springy looking quilt, and I thought that'll be a good pick-me-up in the doldrums of winter. I never touched that. I still have yet to do like a Kantha quilt or what's the other name? There's 2 names for it. I haven't done that technique yet. I don't think I've done a landscape quilt this year. I may have. I know I recently gifted one that I had made. So that was the last one that I had made. So I don't remember if I did that this year or last year. I have a feeling it was during Stash Timber last year. So, and speaking of Stash Timber, I didn't really make much of Stash Timber this month, did I? I didn't. I need to get back on that bandwagon for next year, too. Yeah, I have a lot of planning I need to do for next year that I Haven't really put any pen to paper yet. I haven't done that. I have a lot of things I've thought about, but haven't actually written it down yet. It's not time. I'm still taking a look at what's going on this year and how far did I get. Am I satisfied with where I'm at? I am happy with less fabric buying. And it is less. I swear it is. Projects, I feel better at this point this year as far as my number of projects than I did the prior year. So that's progress. And so after I get the happy days done, the next thing I would like to complete before the end of the year is the berry wreath. And then after that, I just have my normal stuff that I always have. The 16 patches, the FPP, and then good old Harriet's Journey is still down there. Remember, I never gave her an end date. So her end date might be my expiration date. I'm not making promises about that. I never did put one, and I'm still not going to put one. I don't feel like putting one. Not going to do it yet. Not going to do it yet. So, organization, fabric organization. I've done pretty well on that this year. I've peeled away some of my stash. So I think that's progress. And cleaning, you know, I've just kind of kept up with the regular cleaning I can reach. But I didn't really do any deep cleaning this year. I need to get up there and do the fan and the lights and the windows again. I should have done it probably 2 or 3 times by now, and I haven't. So I failed on that front. But I just wanted to share some of that stuff because I want the rest of you to think about that stuff too. You know, what am I doing or what am I not doing that is affecting positively or negatively my hobby? That's kind of where I'm headed with that. So we'll talk more. We'll talk more about that. Let's get into the art quilt before I run out of time. Not that I have a time limit, but I don't want to spend too much time on all that jibber jabber. Let's get the art quilt in, and then we'll go from there. So this is September the 30th. Tomorrow's October 1st. We got a new month. This is called Autumn on the Prairie. And I'll put a picture right here. And so this is 32 by 38, not very big. Susan Buckingham of Sharon, Wisconsin. It says here, without a plan, but with a pile of fabric strips, Susan began by creating different sizes and blocks. After arranging them in different ways, she settled on this combination, adding the red vertical stripes to break up the horizontal movement. The autumn colors reminded her of farm fields as she added trees, crops, and hay bales. The quilt was machine pieced and quilted on her HQ long arm machine. Now this is easy, people. This is what I would call a landscape quilt. Get out your strips and just do that. Just do that. It looks like a piece of art. There's not a whole lot of brain work in this. And the quilting is super easy. She did it on a long arm, but my goodness, you could do that on your domestic machine quicker than you could get it pinned on to your long arm. So you see she's just got some squiggly lines going across and a few other easy things in there, like some echoing and things like that. She has a few corn stalks and trees in there that are kind of the crude type you could do with some free motion quilting, or you could do it with some embroidery if you have that on your machine. Easy peasy. Do it. Get those scraps out today and do that quilt. This is easy. And it's only 32 by 38. You can make them smaller than that. You can make them the size of a piece of paper if you want. Or, you know, a good 24 by 24 or something like that. Depending on if you want a square or a rectangle. Make it about that size. And it looks like you did some real art there. So there it is. There it is. Love these art quilts, don't you? I just love it. And before long, I'll be getting my new quilt art planner out, which this year was a journal. It's another thing I could talk about too, is the journaling versus the to-do with your engagement calendar. So that's what we have. Okay, so send in your Scrappy Celebrations photos if you haven't already to the email, or talk to me about that. And that's what Wednesday's video will be. And then we'll be back for Finish It Friday to see what we've got done. I'll show you that jelly roll quilt and more better pictures. I'll hang it outside or something so you can see it, because that's my best bet for showing you a finished quilt or quilt top. So get in that sewing room. Think about your last 3 months of 2024, what you want to get accomplished, and start thinking about what you want to do for next year too, because we'll be having more conversations about that. All right, that's where we are. Let's just get started today. Monday's always a good day to get started. So get started on finishing something. Get started on something you've always wanted to do, or get started on organizing your fabric, whatever it might be, but let's go get it. All right, have a great week, and I will see you back here on Wednesday. Bye.